everyone.
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking about a record of A Spaceborn View by Becky Chambers. This is long awaited.
Yeah, it is.
We have waited for the second book to come out, and then the last book to come out, and finally we got to read it recently. And I don't know how she feels about it. We haven't talked about it at all.
Nope. I finished it literally last night.
I finished it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, Jessica lent me her copy, and then I kind of ripped the side, so then I bought her another one. But I own the first two, and I wanted to buy it anyway, but at the time, I couldn't.
Yeah.
So
now we both have a copy.
And this is a discussion, so spoilers abound.
Yes, indeed. Okay, I'm Jessica.
I'm Christeena.
And you're watching Game of Tomes.
Where are my dragons?
Alrighty, so we're going to be talking about this book in a series of categories. And the categories, should we say what they are first?
Did we make a video?
We did. We made a video about how we rate our books.
I thought we did. I knew we talked about making one.
And we kind of wanted to use that rating system as a guideline for how we shape our discussions, which we haven't had very much opportunity so far to do that. But here we are. We're talking about the character plot, world building, writing style, and impact. First of all, Becky Chambers' characters are so, I think, complex.
Yeah. And
beautifully written. She always has me rooting for the characters.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
They always feel like they are my characters. In this book, less so a little bit than in the other ones.
I agree. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it specifically, but I did not feel as connected as I have in the first two books. And I thought to myself, maybe that's because there's so many characters in this one, but there was quite a few in the first one as well, and I was so invested in the first one. But something in this one just didn't quite click like the other ones. Yeah. But the more I got into it, I did feel more connected.
By the end, I felt invested, but I didn't feel like they were my characters.
Yeah, I agree.
I have that feeling.
I agree, and which was kind of disappointing because that's why I read her books, is not for plot, because I don't really think any of her books have really had much of a plot.
I think they do have plot.
Yeah.
It's just secondary to the character building and their relationships.
Yeah. And I was so...
And the world building.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I was a little let down.
Me too.
But I don't like saying let down, she let me down.
I know.
I just, something about it. I did start a job and I wasn't reading as quickly as what I normally would have. Yeah. But with it being such a large cast of characters, it did also take me a little while to figure out who was who, when I started.
I did have a who's who problem, and it took me when I would see the person's name at the top of the thing, I would say, oh, who was that again? Yeah. And then, after a couple of sentences, I'd be like, oh yeah, but, and I did that all through, through the middle.
Yeah, I did most of the book as well.
But, I say that, but an overall though, I was so glad that I read it and really enjoyed it, and I like the messages behind it. So there's that, at least. And I love how she, all of the characters have different sexualities. Yeah. And I really appreciate how inclusive she is.
I agree, and I really enjoyed that too. One thing that I did kind of enjoy in this one as well was that I thought the age ranges were quite different.
Oh yeah, me too.
And I thought that was really interesting. I was kind of thrown off when we were introduced to Isabel, and she was introduced as elderly, kind of. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we're introduced to Kip, who is still in school, and I was like, oh, interesting. I also really liked how she kind of connected the characters, because they weren't all exactly best friends and knowing each other. It was more kind of acquaintances. Yeah.
And circumstance.
Yeah, and I really liked that, because it felt like it didn't, sometimes to me, if it's a group of friends from different point of views, it can kind of get repetitive in the storyline. And this didn't ever. But I think that's because they were so, drastically different.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. When we opened up the book, and it said, this takes place right after Longway, I thought, ooh, we're going to get some Longway characters. Like we did in the second book. We followed some people who went off. And I thought, oh, we're going to follow some more people who go off. But no. There was that connection to Ashby. Yeah. Which I liked. I thought we were going to see him.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
I thought we were going to see maybe that the ship was going to come in and we were going to see a few, like, more than just Ashby.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
No.
But we did get some letters from him, I think. And there was some talk, and this is going into plot, of the last sequence of events that happened in Longway where that war is going to be started. Yeah. So I think that's going to be more of a thing moving forward.
I'm really hoping that we do. We've said this before, but I'm really hoping that we do kind of touch base back with the characters from Longway at some point.
Yeah, I would really like that.
I would too. But I think that comes also from just getting so emotionally invested into those characters because they're so well developed. They're so good.
And at the same token, though, I really did like getting the point of view of the humans because that's something we didn't get. And I feel like our world has expanded, in this universe that she's created. So I really appreciated that too.
When you told me that it focused like on the humans, I won't lie, I was really disappointed. Yeah. But while reading this, I didn't think about that. You know what I mean? And so I wound up actually really enjoying getting that side of view on it.
Me too. What did you think of the Harmagian?
At first I was like, okay, alright. But, like, there was some time there in the middle where I was kind of like, because the articles Zer was writing. And towards the end, though, I was like, alright, I like you. But I liked that it put more context into how the Galactic Commons viewed humans as being, like, further behind and kind of helpless, and everybody wanted to do donations. But I liked how Zay pointed out at the end, like, hey, who really deserves to be in the Galactic Commons? Like, we've all done terrible things as species, and, like, we shouldn't be judging them any differently or harsher or whatever. I agree. I mean, I liked that. Like, it came around full circle for me.
It did come around, and at first I was like, they're really fakey.
Yeah. And I think that was brought up by Isabel's wife, who was like, nah. But once they had their little interaction of, like, but do we deserve it? And the Harmagian's answer, I was like, oh, well, that's a good answer.
Yes, I thought so. And I liked getting more of, like, because more of what they were biologically, too. Oh, yeah. And what they ate and stuff like that. I thought that was, that's always good, like, getting more information about the aliens. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, because I know that we've heard of them before in the previous books, but I never really pictured that, like, I don't know, I never pictured them physically, and then to get so much of that in this one, I was like, whoa, interesting, especially when they were talking about they don't breathe, so how do you talk, you know? And I was like, weird. Like, just the concept of there being sentient life that doesn't breathe is, like, mind-blowing to me, but it's true, like, there could be. So I really, really did like that.
I like that, too. And I like the different culture, too. What Chambers always does is give you different cultures. Yeah. My favorite culture so far is the...
Sissics?
Yeah, I was going to say the lizard people. What are they called? Andrisks. Yeah. Yeah, they're my favorite culture so far. But, I liked getting the Harmagians. Also, speaking of culture, the culture on the ship... of the fact that going to a sex worker was just
commonplace and just
fine. Yeah. And the system of you all put in work and you all it was very like kind of socialist and everybody gets
sanitation duty and
everybody gets like a ration basically enough to survive. Plus you do the job that you are good at. And it's not like you get paid more than other people because you have, like, a better job or whatever. Like, everybody's considered equal.
Yeah, I like that too.
And being on a ship, you know, even though there are like thousands of people on the ship, it is sustainable for them, and it works for them because they're all putting in work to keep it running and keep it clean and keep it up to date, you know.
Yeah, and I really like the idea of job training as far as like, oh, it's not for you, this isn't what you enjoy, that's fine. There's plenty of other stuff for you to do. Versus like, obviously in our society that's like, you hate your job? Big surprise, everybody does, you know. And it's like about money and blah blah blah. But I really liked that idea of, hey, there's plenty of stuff for you to do, like, you know, try it out. If it's not for you, no big deal, go to the next one, you know.
Yes.
Okay, so kind of sort of talking about this topic is the caretaker job. I don't think I could do personally.
Yeah.
But I love the idea that they're made in compost, which really reminded me of Caitlin Doty.
I know, me too.
And specifically from
her book?
Yeah, the second one.
Oh.
Eternity. Something.
Eternity, yes.
Okay. I'll find it and put it here.
I think I'm editing this.
Okay. Jessica will find it and put it here. But there was one where they're trying out natural composting for...
Oh, yes.
You know, where they buried them? Yeah. And then they were trying to see how they could decompose them naturally.
It wasn't the body farm, was it? It was different.
No, it was different.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of that. And then their whole, their ritual, it's not a ritual, but their ceremony of laying them to rest in their, like, words that they speak, I thought was really cool.
Yes.
How, like, giving back and nothing goes to waste. And I really like that, especially when they're talking about it at the museum, where Kip is telling the Laru that, like, I can touch everything at home. Like, if we break it, we just turn it into a plate, you know?
Yeah.
I really like that, too, that nothing goes to waste. Like, everything is repurposed, and it makes me really want to stop using plastic bags when I go shopping.
Me, too. We always talk about using, like, cloth bags, and we never...
I know, we've talked about it a lot lately, and I thought of that when I went to Walmart today because my husband used to take his lunch in a plastic bag, but I got him a lunchbox, and now, like, I have nowhere to put our plastic bags anymore because they're not being used, and I'm like, I need to stop using them, but we haven't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Sorry, environment.
Oops.
What's the next topic?
Okay, plot.
Yeah.
I thought things were tied up in a bow a little bit too much. Like, when it came to that boy.
Kip.
Thank you. That boy.
Where he went back to Isabel to be an archivist.
And she's like, why don't you go out in the world and you'll come back to us when you're ready. And so then there was a chapter about how he went out and then came back. Yeah. And, like, she was right. And I was like, it was beautiful. It was very good sentiment. But...
Well, and Tessa moved planet side, and that all worked out great. And, yeah.
I did, like I said, I enjoyed it. Yeah. It just didn't, like, I don't know.
Yeah, see, her previous books have left me, and I don't want to, like, keep comparing, you know, because I feel like that's kind of unfair.
I don't know. Is it? I mean, I feel like the second book was wrapped into a bow a little bit, but it was still,
there was
satisfying.
There was more heartbreak in that one, I think, and so, like, it felt more gratifying.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the first book, there was heartbreak, you know?
It was like heart soaring and then heartbreak. And then next book it was heartbreak and then heart soar.
Yeah. And this one, it just felt like heart soaring. Okay, so speaking kind of like that, let's talk about Sawyer.
Who was Sawyer again?
He was the boy that died.
The boy that died. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, speaking of Sawyer, like, I don't know, because when it was his chapters, I was like,
yeah.
You know? And then when he died, I was like, oh no! And I was like, oh, wait. You know, like, I shouldn't do that. What is that called? I don't know. He became like this martyr, you know, and good things came out of that, but I also wasn't like devastated.
No.
Because I wasn't as attached to the characters.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, though.
I don't know what I was gonna say.
Oh,
I
sorry.
like what happened when Sawyer died and the changes that were made when she implemented the classes for people.
I thought that was great.
Yes.
Especially when the Aluan
Aluan is how I say it.
Aluan? That sounds way better.
Okay.
When the Aluan came in and was like, I actually don't want to live here. I just want to learn more about humans because I interact with them and how to make it more comfortable for them because they try so hard to make me comfortable.
Yes.
And I was like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and they're like,
there you go, Becky Chambers.
Right. And I loved how they were like, oh yeah, okay, let's
add that to the list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I thought was great. But also I did feel like when Sawyer was like, oh, this guy's offering me a job, I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is legit.
Right.
I mean, some things were definitely kind of predictable, and I was like,
yeah, I was like, they're kind of shady.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't expect him to die. I will say that.
I didn't either. I really didn't, actually.
I thought Ias was going to be like, what? They're shady. You need to get out of there.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen.
No.
Actually, can we bring something else up real quick?
Yes.
It's just a random question. Out of all the characters, which one was your favorite?
Oh,
Because I had a favorite.
did you?
Yeah.
Tell me then.
I liked Ias.
She was great.
Yeah. Her and Isabel were pretty up there for me.
I was gonna say Isabel.
Yeah. Yeah, I like her. I could relate to being an archivist, though. I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we meet her and she has to film the devastation of what happened, which sucks. I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
But, I don't know. Also, I want to go on a Sunside. The roller coaster thingy?
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about world building then.
Okay.
I love this ship. The ship was so cool. How they
How it
have
was set up.
How they have all the plants. There's like the food court, basically.
Yeah.
The floors are all window with the galaxy under you.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say how like they have the hexes and they take turns cooking.
I love that.
It's like Sister Wives 2.0.
Oh yes, it is.
Hex family. That's amazing. I think that's great. And they all seem like they really help each other out. And like Tessa's dad was saying, like, when she wanted to go planet side, he was like, I have great friends here. You know, like, don't worry about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you cannot find that on Earth. Like, in the face of destruction, maybe people would be like, we'll help you out. But, you know, I'm disappointed in the human race.
I love how they had the tradition of leaving their handprint.
Yeah.
And how each room had their own name, and it was the name of the family that lived there, and while you lived there, that's your last name.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
That was interesting.
Really cool. I liked the setup of it, but I will say, like, as far as world building goes, I feel like I didn't enjoy it as much as the previous ones, but I think a big part of that is because we got more alien species in the previous books than we did this, so it felt more dynamic. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, you know, I could still picture everything in the ship, and, like,
I could too.
The oxygen gardens, which sounded really cool, which sounds like a regular garden, but, like, really cool.
Yeah.
And the theater, I thought that was genius.
I was gonna say that, yes.
Yeah.
And
I would totally go there.
Me too.
Yeah.
And they have places like that at like Disney that's kind of similar, where they have giant theaters with like it's like wraparound. At SeaWorld they have one.
Yeah.
And at Epcot they have like where you can there's like a surround. Have you been to Epcot? In that not you, people out there. There's like
we talked about this. That's right.
We did. You can go to Canada. Oh, the lid to your pen.
It's okay.
I'm leaving it on the floor. The lid. Wait, no. I was gonna say the
Epcot in Canada.
Okay. Yes, they have a Canada section at Epcot.
Oh.
And there's a 360-degree theater there.
Oh.
That's not the big. They have like a big one at like SeaWorld where you can watch like whales and stuff. It's super cool. But Canada, anyways, super beautiful. And, like, anyway, I just thought of that. Giant screens.
Yeah.
And there's, like, no tables or chairs or anything, so you just sit on the floor.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, watching whales and manatees and the ocean being around you in the giant theater.
That would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have, like, this simulations where they put the mask on and it's, like, they're there.
Oh,
remember?
cool.
In the...
Oh!
No, not at Disney. In the book.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. Mm-hmm. Also, that reminds me real quick of when Tessa found out that her daughter was putting her son in the simulation, and she explained how, like, the human brain at that age can't recognize, and that's something that, like, I would have never really thought about, and I kind of, like, you know, throwing that little bit of real world mixed in there with that. I was like, ooh, I would be so mad if that was my kids. Like, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, that's your kid's brain, yo.
Yeah.
You know? Come on, girl.
Writing style is our next section. Writing style, I love the way Becky Chambers writes. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I love how she writes as well. I don't really have any complaints. I was a little thrown when we were first introduced to everybody when they were, like, younger and when this event happened.
Yeah.
And then jumping forward in time, it took me a second to go, oh, we're not in that time anymore. But I love her writing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be reading all Wayfarer books that come out until forever.
How many is she coming out with?
I don't know.
She ain't even said. She don't even know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I hope, I mean, I know that I'm going to be reading them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe I would be okay if she wanted it just forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really would.
She's probably one of my favorite authors as far as, like, period, but writing style for sure, because that's, like, so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's probably...
And I think that's a testament to... Obviously, her writing style is a testament to, like, how much everybody loves these books, even though, like, the plot is very secondary compared to everything else. She's just...
Especially in this third one.
Yeah.
I felt.
Yeah.
There were character arcs, but I feel like this plot was, like, the most subdued.
Yeah, I would agree. If somebody had asked me what happens in this, I'd be like, nothing really. The space station explodes and a guy dies, but
people feel okay with where they live or they move away.
Yeah, people find themselves.
Yeah.
Kinda, actually, yeah.
All right. Did you give it a rating?
I did give it a rating. I gave it 3.5 stars.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought about giving it 3.5, to be honest, but I gave it 4 stars. Because I did enjoy reading it. I really loved the fact that I could visualize everything as I was reading it.
Yeah.
And I thought the characters were excellent. And I love this series as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm excited for the future.
I am too.
It is my least favorite of the 3.
It does not deter me whatsoever from continuing on, though.
No.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, I will say, like, we obviously did talk about the plot not being there. But at some point, if you're gonna write a, like, series about aliens and humans being in space, I do feel like at some point you do need to give the humans attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell us what's up with the humans.
Yeah. I wonder what the next one's going to be about.
I don't know. I hope it's about more aliens.
I do too. All right, cool. I think we're done. That's it for now.
Yeah. I feel like that was a really structured discussion.
I hope so.
I like it.
All right, great. When you play the Game of Tomes,
you read or you die.
Come be our friends. Social media links in the description below.
And we hope you're reading a great book.
Bye.
Bye.
Lost, what felt like it all in a game. Every man I've measured out to hurt me before